I got to know, is it just plain old ignorance or is it just plain old fashioned USC hater-ade?
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC, part of the Locked On Network, your first listen every day, whether you're watching the show on YouTube or wherever you want to download your podcast. Always remember, this show is free, and never forget how much I appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. This offseason, I've been spending some of my time kind of getting acclimated, with the Big Ten Conference. The mindset, it's different. By the way, go check out a show called The Big Ten Show. Good guys. Justin and Sonny. I was on with them this week. They had me on. Again, we were previewing USC and how they're going to do in the 2024 season going forward in the Big Ten Conference. Go check it out. So again, I've been checking out other podcasts, kind of gleaning opinions, looking for talking points that I can use here on this show. And I got to tell you, lately, I'm finding that even the mediocre programs around the country, not just in the Big Ten, but I'm going to keep it to the Big Ten for this segment. They think they're on a more equal footing with USC. Programs like Maryland, fear the turtle. I'm listening to people talk and say things like, what will be our toughest game in 2024? I've done that here too, but I think I provide some rational thought with my opinion why a specific game will be tough or might not be as tough as some anticipate. Look, I get it. I understand the damage that's been done these last couple of years watching USC's defense. I get it. I really do. I've watched it along with you. But, maybe some people around the country haven't fully grasped the idea. Alex Grinch and his defensive scheme, it's gone. In fact, he's coaching safeties with back in Wisconsin. So if you're not aware, a new, better defensive staff has been assembled at USC. This one particular talking point that I'm kind of referencing right now, it's centered around, again, the Maryland Terrapins and their three toughest games on their schedule. And they did it in reverse order. USC was the third hardest game in this person's opinion. You're saying, well, Mark, what's the big deal? Here's why. I really do. I love to give people the benefit of the doubt. But when I hear a Maryland talking head say that USC is going to take a bigger step back in 2024 from what happened in 2023, I'm serious. Those types of things makes me want to slap someone's mama because someone's raising some ignorance. It's either that or just straight hater-ade. I can't tell at this point. Either way, someone needs to be slapped. Everyone likes to be positive and believe their team has a chance to win a game. But come on, really? Don't tell me that USC is going to take a step back from 2023 because Caleb isn't there anymore. And then turn around and say, you know what? Lincoln Riley, he's been able to coach up quarterbacks ever since he's been a head coach. So if you're going to say that, and then anticipate that, this is going to be a year that Lincoln Riley forgets how to coach the quarterback position. What are you saying? What is your point? Are you trying to say that you think Miller Moss can't get it done? Jayden Daniels is not capable? Because you can't have it both ways. Either Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer that can turn anybody into who's a good quarterback into a great quarterback, or he can't. Been a pretty good judge of quarterback talent. I also saw a former Oregon Duck make the claim that Oregon will win more games in the next 5 years than any other Big Ten program, and that included Ohio State. Got news for you, Oregon fan. If you need to rent a quarterback every year, you're not going to win the most games. You might be able to get away with that in the Pac-12, not in the Big Ten. And just because you've won an occasional regular season game against Ohio State or Michigan, remember, you need to be able to do that over the course of a season. I think everyone who's familiar with me, my personality, my sarcasm, you know my thoughts on Oregon fan. I consider them, and I've got some history with this. I got 50 plus years of experience behind me. But yeah, the least sophisticated fan base in the former Pac-12, without a doubt. But now you got Big Ten fans starting to understand this, the same thing that I've been trying to explain. They're asking the rhetorical question, what has Oregon ever accomplished? Yeah, it's out there. Like I said, I'm getting familiar with the Big Ten mindset. It's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I guess what I have to kind of get used to is until USC can, show everybody, they can tell everybody that they still have one of the nicest houses on the block. Well, USC still has the resources necessary to make it the best house on the block. Here's the thing, though. Ever since the NCAA took USC behind the woodshed and USC self-inflicted her own wounds, there's been a generation of fans who are they're tired of hearing about USC's tradition. They want to see it. Right? Think about this. There's a generation of USC fans that weren't even around when Reggie Bush was playing at USC. This is why I made the argument that the LSU game is the most important game coming up. Of course, it's the first game of the season. But that if USC can beat LSU, and granted, it's not the LSU that won a national championship last year with Joe Burrow, because they didn't win a national championship. They lost 3 games last year. But if USC can beat LSU, I need to hear everyone's silence once that happens. Because for me, the loudest hate in the world is the silent hate. The oh snap, USC might be back type of hate. We'll find out. Again, we still got spring camp that opens up in a couple weeks. It's a lot of work to be done. I get it. I understand why the respect factor for USC is that it's kind of low right now. It's been earned, sort of. USC has a chance to take some of that respect back. To put some respect back in other people's mouths, so to speak. Get out there and win. Show everybody why USC is who USC thinks they should be. Until that happens, talking heads are going to keep saying it. We can beat USC. Even the Marylands of the world. Now, if I start hearing that type of junk from Illinois and Rutgers fan, Purdue, yeah, I'm going to be throwing that challenge out there to meet me by the bike racks. With last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the best price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show you your total upfront so you know you're getting a great deal before you even check out, and you can buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps like this. That's how fast you can do it. GameTime has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the best place to find last-minute seats. And GameTime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKE, D like David, O, N like Nancy, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Also, do not forget, if you're watching this show on YouTube, become a subscriber. See that thumbs up? Smash it. Pretend you're the Hulk. Smash. Don't forget to hit that bell notification button, and you will not miss one episode of Locked On USC, your team every day. On yesterday's episode of Locked On USC, Kalolo Ta'aga, he was my favorite recruit of the week. Well, today I have another favorite recruit of the week. If you've been following this show, leading up to spring camp during this offseason, we do this twice a week. I got lots of favorite recruits. Every recruit is a favorite. And that's what we're just kind of breaking them down, kind of reminding you who they are, what USC is getting, and what the potential could be. The offensive line is a group that everyone is going to be paying attention to this spring, right? I know I am. Makai Saina, he is a member of the 2024 recruiting class, and he is another one of those bigger bodies that Coach Josh Henson needs to be ready. Probably not going to happen this year, but definitely in a couple of years. Right now, Makai is going through his own off-season winter workouts. So I'm sure that 6'4", 275 pounds that USC has him listed as, that probably needs to be updated by now. Here's what you need to know. Because you're saying Makai Saina. Well, he was a low 4-star, 3-star prospect. Again, what is Mark's thoughts on this? Who is recruiting you? I don't care how many stars are next to your name. Well, Makai had everybody recruited. He had both Texas schools, Texas and Texas A&M, SEC, right? And in fact, there are a bunch of teams from the SEC that wanted him, including Georgia. I think Arkansas was on that list. He had a nice resume he had a nice list of schools that would love to have had the opportunity to develop him. Well, USC earned that honor. Makai committed to USC last June. In fact, another previous favorite recruit, Marquise Gallegos, they both actually committed on the same day. Excuse me. Now, even though Makai played tackle in high school, Coach Josh Henson is going to, he started pursuing him as a interior offensive lineman, but they're going to keep the door open. It hasn't been shut completely on playing tackle at USC. WRSC, the other place I work when I'm not here on Locked On USC, they spoke with Makai multiple times. Scott Schrader, Marshall Levinson. So they spoke with him before as well as since his commitment. And here are some of the things you need to know. Some of the things that Makai said. What they told me was they want to try me out at tackle because they think I have long enough arms. So they're going to try me out at tackle at first, but Coach Henson has ideas of me trying out at center and guard too. They really like my versatility. When I took my official visit, Coach Henson told me, I was a great player, but there's things I need to get up on, like developing my whole body, mainly like my upper body. I need to get stronger. They said they'll probably try me out at tackle, but again, I've already went over that. So he's going to They're going to try him out of tackle. They think that he's going to play in interior at some point during his USC career. And as far as Makai is concerned, he said he has no problem with that. Team player, that's the key. He'd like a shot at tackle. He understands because of his height, he's probably going to project better inside. Wherever he can help the team is all he wants to do. And Makai said he committed to USC largely because of his relationship with Coach Josh Henson. Quote, I'm always talking to Coach Henson weekly. Me and my mom, we always check up with him, and I know the O-line very well. That's good to know. Makai said he also watched USC's first game last year against San Jose State, and he noticed something. Quote, I saw that one of the freshmen got him there, and I mean, he played pretty good, end quote. He's referring to Maki Noah. Now, this doesn't get talked about often enough, but USC moving into the Big Ten Conference is going to help with recruiting. And it's going to specifically help recruiting guys who want to play physical football. And it kind of resonated with Makai because this is what he said. I went to USC thinking like it was going to be more of a pass set O-line. But going to the Big Ten, you're going to have to be able to hit. Like, you're going to have to be able to hold your ground. So I just want to get to USC and just be able to develop myself as a player and just get stronger. He also understands that he has a huge responsibility being an offensive lineman at USC. And this is why. I know that I will have one of the top tier quarterbacks to block for, and that's just a blessing. I'm just going to try my hardest every play, every second of the day, just to get better as a player and just go out there and play with those guys. Okay? I love that attitude. What's not to like about that, right? He knows what's up ahead of him. He understands, hey, he's got to develop his body. He's got to get stronger. But he also knows that USC's not afraid to play freshmen. And he really understands that if he's going to earn a chance to play offensive line at USC, he better protect the play caller back there, the guy throwing the ball, handing the ball off. This is really cool. Youngblood, Makai Saina, dude already has his own NIL merchandise deal. You can check it out. I think you can go to NIL Pro Shop, Fanatics, all over the place. They're selling Makai gear, shirts with his likeness all over it. You want a tumbler, keep your drinks cold or hot, get that too. So, young man, already playing the NIL game, earning some income, putting that in his back pocket. I'm telling you, by the time he's done with USC, this guy's going to be a player. You can just tell when you're, excuse me, when you use that type, when you have that kind of playing mindset, that philosophy, and you're doing things behind the scenes on your own, and you don't really hear about it, that's a go-getter. Somebody who knows what they want in life. I'm telling you, Lincoln Riley, Coach Josh Henson, they're recruiting some really good high-character dudes. Now, Makai, he's going to enroll in time for the summer classes, and when he does that, he'll be able to start repping with the team, doing their PRPs, the player-run practices. But here's the thing: USC got themselves another versatile offensive line prospect, someone who's going to be able to play inside, possibly on the outside. He's got the long arms. He doesn't have that prototypical tackle height, 6'5" to 6'7". He's a little short, 6'3.5", 6'4", depending on who's doing the measuring. We'll see. But again, when you have those types of intangibles, you probably have a chance not just to play at USC, but also at the next level. He's going to get that chance. We'll see soon enough. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Speaking of eBay Motors, see that honk if UCLA sucks behind me over here? You can find that over there too. Look for Section 13 Graphics as the vendor. All right, segment 3. Here we go. Now, before I get into the Caleb Williams topic, quick public service announcement. Are you listening? NCAA, bite me. I'm telling you, man. Reggie Bush, he requested that the case against USC be reconsidered. And those hypocritical ivory tower nerds rejected his request. Because, are you ready for this? Reggie was not an involved individual in the case. What? What? Yeah. Those Looney Tune characters that lack any character or common sense literally have the audacity to say, you were never officially charged by the NCAA enforcement staff. Look, long story short, the Heisman Trust said their hands are tied until the NCAA says that Reggie is good again. And the NCAA is saying, it's not Reggie, it's USC. And you wonder why so many people want to see the NCAA just blown to smithereens. I want to use some really different language right now, but I also want to keep doing the show, so I'm going to keep it family friendly. You know me, I like to put up the 2-finger salute. There's also a 1-finger salute that would be pretty appropriate right about now with that message from the NCAA, USC, Jen Cone, the powers that be, please take that jersey, put it back up in the peristyle. I don't care what the NCAA and the Heisman Trust are doing right now. Let's celebrate Reggie Bush. Let's celebrate all 8 Heisman Trophy awards that USC has won on the field. And let's give the NCAA a salute. All right, let's get into Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams has been the number 1 overall draft pick since the day he won USC's 8th Heisman. However, now, all of a sudden, Jayden Daniels, some people need a little extra time to develop. He spent 6 years in college. All of a sudden, he's the new flavor of the day when it comes to the NFL draft. ESPN and Prime Video's Kirk Herbstreit said another quarterback might deserve some consideration. Quote, the other day, the other draft guy I like, this is Kirk Herbstreit talking, Jayden Daniels. And he said this on the Street Talk Show. He said it with his sons, Jake and Ty. I talked about him during the season, and now it seems like a lot of people are talking about him. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jayden Daniels, everyone's assuming the Bears, if they pick a quarterback, are going to go Caleb. I think you'd better look real close at Jayden Daniels, in my opinion. We'll see, end quote. Now, I don't know. At least for me, it doesn't sound like Kirk Herbstreit's heart was really into that. I think he was just kind of throwing it out there. Kind of see what sticks to the wall. This stuff happens every NFL draft. They'll say, NFL evaluators said, And they do that because it's a vague description. A lot of different people can be considered an NFL evaluator. For instance, ESPN's Todd McShay is another one of those. He's starting to throw this around. He said, I believe Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels are 1A and 1B in this year's quarterback class. And evaluators from multiple teams I've spoken with agree. Okay. Here's what I would say. If you're the Chicago Bears, are you going to pull a Sam Bowie in reverse? Never forget the 1984 NBA draft. The Houston Rockets picked Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, number 1 overall. Can't go wrong, right? Hall of Famer. Well, Portland was up next. They picked Sam Bowie. And then the rest was history. The Bulls took Michael Jordan with the 3rd overall pick. Yeah. That's what Chicago has to think about. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is the next Michael Jordan, but people have been comparing him to Patrick Mahomes for the last 2 seasons. All of a sudden, you're going to go with Jayden Daniels because he put up video game numbers on offense? I don't know. I guess it's just the new flavor of the day. I would be shocked if Chicago went away from Caleb. But stranger things have happened. In other USC news, before we get out of here, I want to go over this. Both Isaiah Collier and Juju Watkins, they both won Freshman of the Week honors in basketball. This was the 14th time for Juju. They gave it out 17 times this year. I think we know who the Freshman of the Year award is going to go to. Ms. Juju Watkins. Congratulations. Isaiah Collier, this was his 4th time winning the honor. Now, Juju and the women of Troy, they earned a number 2 seed in this week. The Pac-12 tournament is going to start for the women, and they're going to take on the winner of Arizona and Washington, and that's going to happen Thursday, the 7th at 6 p.m., which, guess what? That's just ahead of USC's game against, I believe they play Arizona State. Yep. And then they play Arizona on the 9th, the men's program. By the way, the men tip off at 8 p.m. After the women play their first round game. So again, Isaiah Collier, he won the award for the 4th time this year. The men, they're closing out their season against Arizona State on the 7th, and then Arizona on the 9th. That's Saturday. And then they head off to Las Vegas for their first round tournament game, which will be on Wednesday, March 13th. Not sure who they're playing yet. So, will you be surprised if Chicago does not pick Caleb overall number 1? And what do you think? Does USC, do the men have a chance to win the Pac-12 tournament? Let's you can answer that question after this this pair of games that's going to happen Thursday and Saturday against Arizona State and Arizona. Again, USC's got to win 4 straight. Let's see if they can win 2 straight. They haven't done that. All right. That's it for this episode of Locked on USC. I will be back with another episode tomorrow. Don't worry. 5 times a week. That's what we do here. Hope I'm getting you through the offseason. I'm going to carry you across. I will get you to spring camp. I promise. So keep tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Keep helping this show grow. So until then, everyone, you know what to do.